Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick, and today we have set number 4192. This is the LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides Fountain of Youth. This set retailed for $19.99 with 128 pieces and 3.5 minifigures, depending on whether or not you count the skeleton. And this was released as part of the 2011 Pirates of the Caribbean wave, which coincided with the release of On Stranger Tides. And you have the two separate builds, and of this, one exclusive minifigure and one pretty hard to find one. This set goes for a bit more than retail nowadays. Sealed, it's worth quite a bit, and used, it's at absolute minimum $30. There is one instruction booklet, and it's pretty thin because there's not too much to the build of this set. You have an ad for their Pirates of the Caribbean website in the back, as well as a ad for all the other sets from this wave. I'm not quite sure if the art was anything super particularly fancy special. I don't know exactly what's up with all that, but there's also a LEGO Club ad, and that's it for the instructions. So here we have the fountain build, which isn't particularly accurate. I mean, it's fine, but it's very simple, not too much detail going on there, and it does not look too similar to what you see in the movie. They do show on the box having a goblet there, which makes sense, but, the goblets are put in the hands of the minifigures as accessories, so, I guess whatever you really want to do there. This, build is fine. It's a little half island. It's weird that it cuts straight off in the back and doesn't even cut off like at the bottom plate. It's just a little bit odd, but yeah, I mean, it's fine. Very simple, and nothing too special. You do have this printed dish up here though, which is kind of special. But I mean, there's nothing else really that's super. I guess the boulder is probably rare in that color too, but basically you got the exclusive dish, and that's about it. I think that what they were going for with this is supposed to be that whole little island inside the cave, but it's really small and really simple. So I maybe would have preferred a more detailed version of a smaller build. But, sets back in 2011 were more along the lines of this rather than the, more detailed, smaller builds that we get nowadays. So this other build, I think what they're going for is the entrance to the cave with the waterfall, and it's definitely way downsized from how it should, the size that it should be. But it does have this cool vinyl piece, which mine is currently bent backwards a little bit more than it should be. You can kind of push it up and get it to kind of stick behind the studs. But anyway, the point of this is that you would be able to have your figures walk through it, kind of like a little doorway. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. That's probably the most convincing way to do water without having a ton of translucent blue parts going through there. But yeah, the back of this is nothing pretty to look at. It looks okay from this angle, and how it would basically be in the movie. The way it's set up, it would be like you'd have this up in front, and the waterfall in the back of this definitely kind of dominates it because it's way too big compared to that. So that's why on the box I think they kind of put it aside. I should mention that this is only attached by one stud, so you probably shouldn't be picking it up by that, even though that's the only way I've picked it up in this video so far. But yeah, if you just stick those like that together, it looks pretty decent. But aside from having the waterfall that you can walk through, there's nothing to do with this. There's really no play features at all in this set. It just kind of is a build that's there to put figures in front of and then play around it, but nothing actually with it. These pillars fall off a little bit easily. It does use this key piece thing from Atlantis. I don't know how they were supposed to work, but it's an interesting part that I'd never seen before, and it is rare, only coming in the handful of Atlantis sets that it came in, plus this one. So, take that or for what you will. But they are an interesting one to top off those columns and do look pretty good. And, the overall, for how old this is, in the year that this came out, I think that this had a pretty decent level of detail for what it is. The real stars of the set are the figures, and the first two that we have here are Captain Jack Sparrow and Hector Barbossa. Barbossa is an exclusive variant only appearing in this set, and, that's pretty cool. He's got an exclusive torso and that cool pirate hat piece, which, you know, while not completely accurate to the movie, is pretty decent. It would have been, you know, better if it was a hair hat combo, but, you know, they never did that back in these days. You know, Jack's hair is a pretty good mold as well, but that appeared in a lot of sets. This whole figure is very common. You know, the printing on his head is pretty normal as well. You know, there were a couple sets that didn't have that particular head print, but, you know, most of them did. And, you know, back print on there is pretty good. I guess there's a little bit of back printing on his torso as well. And to see Barbossa's figure, I guess we should look at his map piece, which did appear in, I believe, one other set, which is the one set cheaper than this, I think. It might have been in Queen Anne's Revenge, too. But, you know, the other exclusive thing about Hector here is his torso, so we're going to have to remove his shoulder strap piece, which is a pretty rare part, only coming on, I think in black it was only on Hector, but maybe not. And, yeah, the torso print on him is pretty good as well. You know, pretty good exclusive figure, but, you know, I do think I prefer the regular version of him, like from the first movies. Probably mainly because the first movies are better than this one, but, you know, it is pretty good. And my particular copy of Jack's Compass here seems to be a little bit printed off center, but it's not too terrible. But, you know, another nice accessory to get. I guess I can give you a quick second with the skeleton. You know, it's a normal skeleton with the classic face. It does have the droid arms in white, 4 arms, and yeah, I mean, that's really the only variants you can see on a skeleton, I guess. And then we have Blackbeard, who's a really cool and really impressive figure. I mean, he even gets a specially molded sword, which is pretty awesome. It's actually rubber. Like, I believe that this must be a dual molded component with the hard plastic hilt and then the rubber handle, or not rubber blade. But it's very cool. Yeah, I mean, I really like this part. So happy that they included it in both sets with Blackbeard. And he also has the other goblet, because yes, there are 2 included in the set. And on top of that, he has this really awesome hat piece, which has some printing on the top that looks pretty good. And I guess I should show you him all the way around with the hat, because you can see the printing up there a little bit. And underneath, he's got this really sick beard mold, which is a rubber piece so that these things won't fall off. But, you know, it looks pretty good again from the front. My particular copy has a little bit of a nick up on the stud on his head, but that's fine because he's wearing a hat all the time. And if we remove this, you can see the torso print underneath, and they even did a pretty good job printing the flesh tone underneath the beard, which is even unnecessary because it's going to be covered all the time. But back printing on him is pretty good as well. I mean, I'm really happy with the way that this figure turned out. I think that, you know, I mean, it could have been nice to give him a second face, but again, this was 2011, and this figure really still kind of holds up with modern figures today. So, you know, I mean, I don't know what else they really could have done to improve him. Maybe arm printing, but even then I can't think of anything on Blackbeard's arm that would have been significant enough to warrant printing. So this is, maybe they would have done the beard mold differently just so that it didn't, like, maybe they would have dual molded it so that just these were rubber and the base was hard plastic. But I mean, other than that, like, I really don't have any complaints about this figure, and even then that's not a complaint, that's just saying maybe they would change it if they did it now. But it's a very good figure that definitely holds up with figures of today. And I should probably also mention that Blackbeard was only in this set and the Queen Anne's Revenge, which I think was $10 more than the Black Pearl, making it the most expensive Pirates of the Caribbean set, but maybe they were the same price. But yeah, I mean, this is really the only way that Blackbeard isn't also like $50 like Davy Jones. But yeah, I mean, I think this set as a whole, you know, it's pretty okay. Isla de Muerta was a better set, easily. I think the build of that one and the figures of that one were better. But for what this is, it's definitely not bad, and I think that, you know, it was a pretty okay value at $20. I mean, again, Isla de Muerta was better, but, you know, you do get some really good figures here. And, you know, if you liked On Stranger Tides, this is probably going to be a set that you want. Blackbeard is definitely the big draw here, though, and I think that he's definitely a very well produced figure. I mean, Hector maybe would have had the printing on his one leg or a dual molded hair hat combo piece to make him a little bit more accurate now if they were to make this set today. And I think that the build of this would definitely be a whole lot different, especially this section. Maybe this would be somewhat similar, but this would for sure have been changed relatively significantly if this was a set released today. But, you know, the figures definitely, for the most part, hold up pretty well. I guess they did update Jack in the Silent Mary with some really good detail on the bandana. But, you know, for the most part, it was honestly still pretty similar, and they used the same mold, so it's definitely an excellent mold. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got for this set. Would I recommend getting this nowadays at its relatively inflated price? Maybe not. Sale. I mean, I don't think I would recommend spending like $60 on it. For $30, maybe it's reasonably okay. And I think then the big draw is, as it was back in the day, still Blackbeard. Unless you have the Queen Anne's Revenge, in which case then this probably isn't worth it. So, hope you guys enjoyed this little review. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.